Welcome to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like and press the notification button to this channel. The 15 best places in the world to go paragliding. If you love the experience of looking down on the world from the window of an airplane, you may enjoy paragliding, which offers an adrenaline rush in addition to the incredible views you can see while quietly soaring above a landscape. With just a paraglider and the wind and warm air thermals to carry you, the sport can feel wonderfully solitary even if you're inexperienced and need to fly tandem with a guide. Paragliding is generally a safe activity, as long as you fly with an experienced and trained pilot. But, like with any adventure sport, there are inherent risks. Your operator should provide you with a full safety briefing and be able to answer any questions or concerns you have. If they can't or won't, seek another operator. Paragliding can be done around the world, but the most attractive locations offer wonderful views along with good instruction and accessibility for beginners. Here are 15 of the best paragliding destinations in the world. Number 1. Queenstown, New Zealand. The South Island town of Queenstown is often referred to as New Zealand's adventure capital because of all the adventure sports available here: whitewater rafting, hiking, bungee jumping, skiing, jet boating, and, of course, paragliding. Surrounded by the remarkable range of the Southern Alps, on one side of Lake Wakatipu, Queenstown's geography allows for fabulous views from the air, and the thermals and winds coming off the mountains means it's sometimes possible to fly for a long time. New Zealand paragliding champion Louis Tapper set a record in early 2020 with an 8-hour flight. Paragliding is possible in Queenstown year-round, but winters are cold. Experience a bird's-eye view of Queenstown on a paraglide or hang-glide flight. Experience the most spectacular views of the Wakatipu Basin by paragliding the skies above Queenstown. Paragliding was introduced to Queenstown in 1987 by René Schwaller. René learned how to paraglide in Switzerland and returned home to Queenstown equipped with 2 modified parachutes and a new skill, which he demonstrated by jumping off Bob's Peak. The early 90s Queenstown became home to hardcore paragliders who hiked up tall peaks and flew off them. Visitors wanted to have a go too, and commercial operators started offering hang gliding and paragliding experiences. The first tandem paraglider was invented here by local Olympian Bruce Grant. Paragliding and hang gliding operators in Queenstown are fully qualified and have top safety records, so relax and enjoy the sensational ride. Wondering what things to do in Queenstown? How about soaring majestically through the skies like an eagle, surrounded by breathtaking mountain views? Experience Queenstown's fantastic views with one of the best activities in Queenstown. Choose Coronet Peak tandems for your Queenstown paragliding and/or hang gliding adventure. The most experienced dual tandem paragliding and hang gliding company in New Zealand, where your safety absolutely comes first. CAA Part 115 approved operator. Fly with Champion Angus Tapper or one of our fully licensed and highly experienced tandem pilots. Enjoy an exciting adrenaline-pumping thrill ride or a gentle scenic flight off the highest takeoff in Queenstown. Number 2. Burr Billing, Himachal Pradesh, India. Located in the Kangra Valley of India's northern Himachal Pradesh state, the twin villages of Burr and Billing are the best places to try paragliding in India, as the foothills of the Himalayan range offer a lovely setting of mountains covered in forest. Tandem paragliding flights typically take off from Billing and land at Burr. Himachal Pradesh experiences cold winters and warm, but often damp, summers. As such, paragliding in Burr Billing is best between the months of October and June, although December and January are very cold. Burr is a rural village located in the west of Joginder Nagar Valley in the state of Himachal Pradesh in northern India. It is also the location of the Burr Tibetan colony, founded in the early 1960s as a settlement for Tibetan refugees after the 1959 Tibetan uprising. Burr is noted for several Tibetan Buddhist monasteries and supportive centers of the Nyingma School, the Karma Kagyu School, and the Sakya School, located either in the town of Burr or nearby. A large stupa is also located in Burr. Ecotourism, spiritual studies, and meditation draws visitors. The Burr Billing area is a popular site for paraglider pilots, both Indians and visitors from all over the world. The flying season is from September to October, with some flying also done in November. The village continues to host periodic international competitions and events. The paragliding launch site is in the meadow at Billing, 14 kilometers north of Burr, at an elevation of 2,400 meters, while the landing site and most tourist accommodations are in the village of Chogan, also spelled Chorgan, on the southern edge of Burr. A foodie's guide to Billing, the paragliding capital of India. Steamed and fried momas. Thukpa and devil momas. Home-cooked food. Hot chocolate. Vada pav and cutting chai. Pastas and fresh green salads. Himachali sidhu. Mint iced tea, musafir. South Indian food. Banofi pie. Anything and everything. Vegetarian thali. Maggi and chai. Number 3. Pokhara, Nepal. Visitors to one of Nepal's most popular tourist destinations, Pokhara, will quickly notice the dozens of colorful paragliders floating behind the town. Sarangkot Hill, just north of Phewa Lake, is one of the best places in the world to paraglide because of the stable thermals and incredible views. On one side is the mighty Annapurna range of the Himalaya, among the highest peaks in the world, and on the other is Phewa Lake and terraced green farmland and villages. Sitting at a lower altitude, Pokhara is generally warmer than Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, so even in the middle of winter, paragliding here isn't too cold. In fact, midwinter is one of the better times to go because the skies are clearest. Paragliding can be done in Pokhara year-round, but flights are often cancelled between June and September, when monsoon rains are around. On the streets of Kathmandu and Pokhara you can buy all kinds of street food from burgers to falafel. Traditional Nepal street food is somewhat different. In this post, we look at typical and popular Nepali street food for you to try in Nepal, as well as modern Western foods you can find as street food in popular tourist destinations in Nepal. Momo. One of favorite street foods, the simple Momo. Numerous little shops now sell momas, and there is a fast food chain that sells them, much like Western fast food outlets sell burgers. Sei Roti, most commonly made for Darshan and Tihar festivals, these bread-like delicacies are great little snacks. Outside of the festivals, you'll have a harder time finding them. They will make appearances during weddings and at significant cultural events. Rice flour is the main ingredient, along with ghee, cardamom and cloves. Other ingredients are added to taste and personal preference. Cooking in vats of hot oil. Once cooked, they can last for up to 3 weeks if kept properly. Samosa. Samosas are very common across the whole subcontinent, and Nepal is no exception. Although they tend to be a different shape from other parts of the world. Almost round with twisted edges and normally always potato-based and vegetarian flavored with spices. They can be found in both street carts that move along the roads of Kathmandu and Pokhara or inside restaurants and cafes. Look for the local stalls where locals go and you'll be sure to find some great authentic samosas. Pokhara is Nepal's #1 adventure and leisure destination, a gateway to treks in the Annapurna region with plenty of entertainment for individual travelers and their families. In Pokhara you can experience the excitement of adventure, boating, hiking, pony rides, paragliding, bungee, zipline, or simply relaxing at one of the several lakes in the valley. Pokhara will overwhelm you with its natural beauty and great photo ops. Walk along the shores of the Fewa Lake, enjoy the greenery surrounding you and gaze at the spectacular panoramic view of the Himalayan peaks of the Annapurna Massif. Brightly painted wooden boats add vibrant colors to the greenery, while paragliders float down slowly from above. Flying over the lake is probably going to be one of the highlights of your travel experience in Nepal. Number 4. Gudauri, Georgia. The beautiful Caucasus Mountains and the stable weather conditions in Gudauri, Georgia, make it one of the best paragliding destinations in this part of the world. Taking off from an altitude of around 9,800 feet, paragliders will soar even higher before landing some 20 to 45 minutes later, depending on thermal conditions. Gudauri is a ski resort town, so you can also hit the slopes if you come in the right season. Paragliding can be done year-round here, but like other mountainous, high-altitude regions, temperatures are very cold in the winter. Experience the thrill of paragliding over the Georgian mountains on a private 7-hour tour from Tbilisi. Private transportation takes you from your hotel to the UNESCO-listed Mitsketa and Jayvari Monastery. The scenic route continues past a number of noteworthy monuments where you can pause at any time to have a look around. In Gudauri, spend 15 to 20 minutes sailing over the Caucasian mountains while your instructor pilots. Experience the thrill of paragliding over the Georgian mountains on a private 7-hour tour from Tbilisi. Private transportation takes you from your hotel to the UNESCO-listed Mitsketa and Jayvari Monastery. The scenic route continues past a number of noteworthy monuments where you can pause at any time to have a look around. In Gudauri, spend 15 to 20 minutes sailing over the Caucasian mountains while your instructor pilots. Gudauri is Georgia's most renowned site for speedriding and paragliding. Experienced instructors are employed to accompany customers in the said activities. There are several on-mountain restaurants and bars open throughout the day, mainly at the top of the first chairlift. They tend towards Georgian dishes, and although probably not the best offerings of local cuisine, they will certainly appease your hunger after a hard day on the slopes. There are also a couple of eateries with hot dogs, khinkali, tea, coffee and other snacks at the bottom of gondola lift. The rich cuisine of Georgia is one of the best-kept secrets in the world. The dishes are hearty, flavorful and draw from the varied cultural influences from Greece, Rome, Persia and Turkey that have shaped the history of this European gem. Georgian street food is hearty, with heavy emphasis on stuffed breads, dumplings, yogurt and kebabs and skewers. Georgia is the crossroads between the Mediterranean and West Asia, and each dish reflects the influences of its neighbors in a way that is uniquely Georgian. Here's a handy guide to the types of food you can expect to find in busy cities and more remote towns in the Caucasus Mountains. There are many hotels around Gudauri, Georgia, including Gudauri Lodge, Marco Polo Hotel Gudauri, Hotel Carpe Diem Gudauri, Gudauri Hotel Loft, Best Western Gudauri, Gudauri Hills Apart Hotel, Quadrum Hotel, Hotel Gudaura, Gudauri Inn, Residence Gudauri Hills, etc. Number 5. Ölüdeniz, Turkey. Southern Turkey is perhaps better known as a Mediterranean beach destination, but paragliders can get a different view of the sea, Ölüdeniz, Blue Lagoon, and the white sand coastline from above. Flights take off from the 6,500-foot Mount Babadag, and the Taurus Mountains are visible from the flight. The warm thermals coming off the sea allow paragliders to stay in the air for some time, and flights last around 45 minutes. As well as the sea and mountain views, Ölüdeniz is a popular paragliding destination. Thanks to its warm weather. As flights land on the beach, you can even go straight from the sky to the sea. Some recommendations for hotels close to the location of Ölüdeniz, Turkey, include Akdeniz Beach Hotel, Manaspark Hotel Ölüdeniz, Tanaz Beach Hotel, Bronze Hotel Ölüdeniz, Yakimoz Hotel, Han Deluxe Hotel, Salonika Suites, Green Pine Beach and Bungalows, Antapart Hotel and others. Turkish dishes. Straddling Europe and Asia, where East meets West, Turkey's melting pot of cultures is best reflected in its cuisine. If you're a newcomer to Turkish food, you've got a mouth-watering journey ahead of you. Get started with these 7 classic dishes. 1. Baklava. Dating back to the Ottoman Empire, baklava is one of the most iconic Turkish dishes and a must for anyone with a sweet tooth. This layered pastry is filled with nuts and covered in syrup and ground pistachios for an unforgettable Mediterranean dessert. You can find baklava in most bakeries and supermarkets, but it's best when freshly baked. 2. Sis kebab. Kebab is an umbrella term that encompasses a variety of street eats, but the most famous is the skewered sis kebab. Traditionally made of beef or lamb, today diners can choose from a wider selection of meat, fish, poultry and vegetarian options, grilled over charcoal and served on metal or wooden skewers. 3. Doner. The other famous kebab, the doner offers the same diversity in the choice of meat, which is seasoned with herbs and spices and cooked on a vertical, rotating spit. Fresh cuts are served in a bread wrap along with salad and garlic or spicy sauces. 4. Koft. Turkish meatballs come in all shapes and sizes, and can be eaten solo as street snacks, dipped in plain yogurt or served with rice and salad. Different regions of Turkey have christened their own distinctive varieties, including izgara koft, served with grilled peppers, rice and bread, and sig koft, eaten raw. 5. Pide. Commonly known as Turkish pizza, like its Italian cousin, pide is a flat pastry base topped with cheese and assorted meat and vegetables, heated in a stone oven. The choice of toppings is practically limitless, making pide and its leaner counterpart lahmacun ideal for vegetarians and diners with other dietary requirements. Ölüdeniz, literally Dead Sea, due to its calm waters even during storms. Official translation name Blue Lagoon, is a small neighborhood and beach resort in the Fethiye district of Muğla province, on the turquoise coast of southwestern Turkey, at the conjunction point of the Aegean and Mediterranean Sea. It is located 14 kilometers 9 miles to the south of Fethiye, near Mount Babadag. Number 6. First, Switzerland. Paragliding can be enjoyed at hundreds of places around small, mountainous Switzerland, but first is one of the best because of its dramatic views of 13,641-foot Mount Jungfrau. First itself is a 7,109-foot summit in the Bernese Oberland, above the town of Grindelwald. Training for Swiss paragliding pilots is very rigorous, so first-timers should be comfortable taking a tandem flight with their instructor. If you get a taste for the sport, training can be done in Switzerland. Switzerland is the country of origin of the Braunvieh brown cattle. The original Braunvieh is an original Swiss dual-purpose cow breed. This means that it is suitable for both milk and meat production. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Switzerland exported Braunvieh to the US. It was here that the brown Swiss breed was born. Today, most Braunvieh in Switzerland are a recross with brown Swiss genetics from the US. The reason for this is their higher milk yield. First is a minor summit on the slopes of the Schwarzhorn in the Bernese Oberland. It is mostly known as a cable car station above Grindelwald and as a popular hiking area with the Bachaltsee in proximity. It is also the destination of the classic hike, Scheinische Platte Vollhorn First. The Swiss country is loaded with delicious recipes that have us drooling just at the sight of them. They go way back when it comes down to a refined cuisine with plenty of colors. Where do we start first? Switzerland has 26 cantons, so it's no surprise that you will find so many choices in traditional Swiss food. However, let's check 10 out of the most famous ones among them. Surely, the most epic cheese there is. That's why it makes our top choice of traditional Swiss food you need to try. Fondue is a Swiss melted cheese dish served in a communal pot over a portable stove heated with a candle or spirit lamp and eaten by dipping bread into the cheese using long-stemmed forks. The easiest recipe for Swiss fondue is mixing wine, garlic, and lemon juice in a ceramic pot over medium-low heat, or you can even use a heavy saucepan instead. Then, you add the cheese to the simmering liquid a little at a time, stirring well between each addition to ensure a smooth fondue. Sounds delicious even when explained, right? Imagine tasting it. The quiche and Swiss cheese tarts are only superficially related. Both have pastry, cheese, and custard. However, the quiche is really about the custard, whereas the Swiss tart is more about cheese. Swiss cheese tarts come in all sizes, yet the small ones are more petite and even eye-pleasing. You can pick a little one up and eat it picnic style. Little cheese tarts look so cheerful and tasty on small, pretty plates. The quiches can also be loaded with fish, meat, or vegetables, whereas tarts can be topped with different flavors from onion to sweet apple. These dishes are typical for anniversaries and birthdays. First cliff walk, Grindelwald, Switzerland. Webnet secures breathtaking views of Swiss Alps. This spectacular, floating, bridge in Grindelwald, Switzerland provides visitors to the mountains with stunning panoramic views of the Eiger, Monk and Jungfrau mountains in the Swiss Alps. At 260 meters long, the suspended walkway is at the summit lift station of Grindelwald first, and protrudes out of the side of the mountain at 2,000 meters above sea level. Number 7. Umbria, Italy. The Umbrian village of Castelluccio is the highest altitude village in the Apennine Mountains, at 4,763 feet. The updrafts created by the meeting of the plains and mountains make this one of the best places in Italy to try paragliding. As well as the mountain views that one should expect when paragliding almost anywhere in the world, Castelluccio offers something different. The hills and valleys around the town are covered in colorful wildflowers in the spring and summer, especially May and June, which are especially lovely to see from above. Umbria is an Italian region bordering Tuscany, Lazio and Le Marche. Often called the country's Green Heart, it's known for its medieval hill towns,
dense forests and local cuisine, particularly foraged truffles and wines. Hilltop Perugia, the regional capital, is the site of medieval Palazzo dei Priori, housing the Galleria Nazionale dell'Umbria Art Museum. Pedestrianized Corso Banacchi is the focus of city life. The region is characterized by hills, mountains, valleys and historical towns such as the University Center of Perugia, Assisi, a World Heritage Site associated with St. Francis of Assisi, Terni, Norcia, Città di Castello, Gubbio, Spoleto, Orvieto, Todi, Castiglione del Lago, Narni, Emilia, Spello and other small cities. Umbria is bordered by Tuscany to the west and the north, Marche to the east and Lazio to the south. Partly hilly and mountainous, and partly flat and fertile owing to the valley of the Tiber, its topography includes part of the central Apennines, with the highest point in the region at Monte Beta on the border of the Marche, at 2,476 meters, 8,123 feet. The lowest point is Attigliano, 96 meters, 315 feet. It is the only Italian region having neither a coastline nor a common border with other countries. The comune of Città di Castello has an exclave named Monte Ruperto within Marche. Contained within Umbria is the hamlet of Cospea, which was a tiny republic from 1440 to 1826, created by accident. Number 8. Iceland. Iceland is a little country with a lot of dramatic waterfalls, glaciers, volcanoes, and lava fields, and seeing them from above adds another dimension to your tour of the country. Reykjavik-based companies offer short trips within the area as well as longer day trips that go out to more remote destinations. The latter operate in the warmer, lighter months, generally between April and October, but this depends on the operator and the destination. A tandem paragliding experience. With true adventure paragliding you will fly, enjoy stunning views and have a lot of fun up in the sky above Iceland. While many excursions depart from Reykjavik, some also leave from the small town of Vik on the south coast, in case the desire to go paragliding hits while you're far from the capital. Man's desire to fly has always been one of the greatest dreams of humanity. Watching the birds soar in a seemingly effortless way has stirred our deepest impulses to be free and explore the world from above. Controlled powered flight has been around for over a century now. We are so used to the fact that we can fly halfway around the world in less than a day, and yet for most people the possibility to experience free flight still remains in the land of dreams, or is considered by most people to be the folly of adrenaline junkies.
In reality, paragliding is one of the best and most comfortable ways to enjoy the earth from above. While it is still classified as an extreme, airborne sport, in the hands of true adventure paragliding's experienced instructor pilots, who take weather conditions and passenger safety into serious consideration, it can be the most fun you've ever had. Paragliders are structures with a soft wing and no internal frame. You are connected to the wing by at least 30 lines, any of which is strong enough to support your full body weight. The speed of flying is slower compared to other methods, and the seat is very comfy, almost like a lounge chair, which allows you to relax and enjoy the view straight after takeoff. So the main danger is that you will probably like it so much that you will want to do it again. Riding tours on our wonderful Icelandic horses on the marvelous black sand beach of Pokhara. Our horses are suitable for riders from the age of 6-10 years on our regular tours. Our 1-hour tour is an easy-going ride suitable for inexperienced and advanced riders alike who want to enjoy the breathtaking surroundings of our beautiful village Vik, including a ride on the black sand beach towards the famous sea stacks Reynisdrangar. The tours are always fun and enjoyable, and especially suited for beginners and people that have never ridden a horse before. What is the best way to discover Iceland? From above, of course. On this tandem paragliding flight starting from Vik, you will witness the stunning view of the most popular region of Iceland from above in the open air. It is definitely an adventure of a lifetime to see the impressive Reynisfjara black sand beach and the Reynisdrangar basalt rock stacks from the air. Do you want to see Vik, Reynisfjara, and Reynisdrangar? Why not do it in a safe and incredible way? Paragliding is one of the calmest and safest free-flying forms. On this tandem flight, you will have an experienced instructor pilot with you at all times. When your guide has gone through all safety assessments and the wing is inflated, you will take a few steps down a slope and then you will be in the open air. The area around Vik is for sure one of the most breathtaking places on Earth for paragliding, and the view and scenery will be fantastic. Number 9. Kerio Valley, Kenya. While the views of the Elgeyo escarpment are dramatic from anywhere, they'll especially take your breath away when soaring above Kenya's Kerio Valley, part of the Great Rift Valley that runs through several countries in East Africa. The 62-mile unbroken ridgeline is ideal for experienced paragliders who want to take to the skies for as long as possible. Tandem flights with instructors are also possible. The best paragliding conditions in the Kerio Valley can be experienced between December and March. Kerio Valley lies between the Tugen Hills and the Elgeyo escarpment in Kenya. It sits at an elevation of 1,000 meters in the Great Rift Valley. Although the paragliding flights can last for hours and cover hundreds of kilometers, the normal range will be between 1 to 2 hours and some tens of kilometers. The popular takeoff spot is near the Kerio View Hotel, and landing is mostly at the takeoff spot, however you can land anywhere. Wind direction here is mostly from north to south and a steady easterly, perfect for takeoff and landing. Average wind is at 15 km per hour, 9.32 miles per hour. The Kerio Valley is the site of elaborate irrigation systems that were constructed during earlier periods of history. These structures are believed to have been built by descendants of the Neolithic Afro-Asiatic peoples who introduced domesticated plants and animals to the Great Lakes region, a succession of societies collectively known as the Stone Bowl Cultural Complex. Most of these early northern migrants are said to have been absorbed by later movements of Nilotic and Bantu peoples. Although the particular irrigation systems in the Kerio Valley are today maintained by the Marakwet subgroup of the Kalenjin Nilets, the latter aver that they were the work of a northern people of peculiar language called the Sirikwa, who were later decimated by pestilence. According to the Marakwet, the Sirikwa built the furrows, but they did not teach us how to build them. We only know how to keep them as they are. The missing link, however, reoccurs in Tanzania out of an ethnic community known as Araku. The Araku openly admit to be the masterminds behind the constructions and linked to the Engaruka complex in Tanzania. Sengwer ethnicity of Kalenjin and Talai clan of the Kipsigis and Nandi are believed to be facets of the Araku who took a Kalenjin identity. Best street food you must try in Kenya is your guide to the country's vibrant food scene. Mishikaki grilled kebab, grilled maize, grilled corn, mahamri deep fried donut, smoky pajua smoked sausage, mayai gonga hard-boiled egg with kachumbari, mutura Kenyan blood sausage, fried cassava, nyama choma roast meat, viazi karai fried packed potatoes, dengu stew mung bean stew. Mendoza, Argentina. Western Argentina, near Mendoza, is a popular paragliding spot in South America. The weather, winds, and thermals are stable throughout the year, so you're not just restricted to certain seasons here. Many guided paragliding tours use as their takeoff point Cerro Arco Hill, reached via a rugged dirt track. As well as the impressive mountains, the Mendoza region is home to Mount Aconcagua, the highest mountain outside Asia. Flyers can admire the vineyards of Argentina's premier wine region from above. Number 11. Iquique, Chile. A South American paragliding experience that's completely different from that of Mendoza. The coastal town of Iquique, in northern Chile, is an amazing place to try paragliding because of its proximity to the seemingly endless sand dunes of the Atacama Desert. Conditions are reliable here, too, thanks to generally stable winds. Plus, the risk of rain ruining your paragliding plans is very slim, as the Atacama Desert is one of the driest places in the world. Iquique is a coastal city in northern Chile, to the west of the Atacama Desert. A prosperous saltpeter mining town in the 19th century, today it's a popular holiday destination with a tax-free port area, Pacific beaches. In its historic district, an iconic 19th century clock tower stands in Arturo Prat Square, the city's main plaza. Iquique is a port city and commune in northern Chile, capital of both the Iquique province and Tarapacá region. It lies on the Pacific coast, west of the Pampa del Tamarugal, which is part of the Atacama Desert. It has a population of 191,468 according to the 2017 census. It is also the main commune of Greater Iquique. The city developed during the heyday of the saltpeter mining in the Atacama Desert in the 19th century. Once a Peruvian city with a large Chilean population, it was conquered by Chile in the War of the Pacific 1879-1883. Today it is one of only two free ports of Chile, the other one being Punta Arenas, in the country's far south. Iquique has an unusually mild to warm desert climate Köppen, BWH with low extremes of temperatures all year round and almost no rainfall. Due to its abundant cloudiness and coastal location, the climate is often abbreviated to BWN, as opposed to the usual BWH or BWK. It is common for this place to have completely dry years without any precipitation day, making it one of the driest cities in the world, along with Arica. Iquique is served by Diego Aracena International Airport Spanish, Aeropuerto Internacional Diego Aracena IATA, IQQ, ICAO, SCDA. The airport is on the Pacific coast 48 kilometers 30 miles south of the city. Number 12. Lima, Peru. No visit to Lima would be complete without a visit to the Miraflores cliffs, and travelers who want to get the most of the views can paraglide above them. While the attraction of many paragliding experiences the world over is the natural landscape, in Lima, it's all about the city views that reach far down the coast. Flights generally launch from Parque Raimondi and land on the beach. Dare to look at Lima from the sky. This is the only way to truly admire the cityscape and all its colors, and experience the true dimensions of the only South American capital that looks out onto the Pacific Ocean. Come and appreciate from the air the long beach circuit known as the Costa Verde, together with the district of Miraflores, where the city's tourism and business sectors are at their most active. Visitors can soar away in hired paragliders or hang gliders from Parque Raimondi, on the Miraflores seafront. In just a few minutes you will be over the ocean, with the cliffs and tall buildings as your only companions, while below astonished tourists and local people will watch you pass by, from the many parks that overlook the sea, or from the well-known Larcomar shopping mall. Paragliding is one of the best tourist activities to do in Lima, and it offers the best view of the city. Spend any length of time in Miraflores and you'll inevitably notice paragliders swooping up and down the Costa Verde, and even buzzing past Larcomar's restaurants at lunchtime. Taking to the air gives a quick thrill and the best view in all of Lima. Most of the views from high vantage points in Lima are less than inspiring. From Cerro San Cristobal, you see a flat, sprawled city with few interesting landmarks, rendered even duller by the ubiquitous gray and brown. The Arco Morisco at Parque de la Amistad doesn't get high enough to see much beyond the park itself. A shantytown tour will get high enough for great vantage points, but like Cerro San Cristobal you're looking at urban sprawl of short buildings the color of bricks and desert. Number 13. Makapuu Cliffs, Hawaii. On the far eastern edge of Oahu Island, Hawaii, the corrugated, Forested Makapu'u cliffs have been called the paraglider's heaven. Distance records have been set here, as the northeast trade winds provide good conditions for paragliding and hang gliding. As well as the cliffs, flyers can enjoy the sight of the white sand beaches, blue sea, the lighthouse at Makapu'u Point below, and the islands and volcanoes of Hawaii beyond. Although there is only one main landing point at Makapu'u beside the highway, there are a few different takeoff points. If you want to do some ridge walking but don't want to hike 5 miles to do so, try this hike. Park at the Makapu'u lookout, cross Kalanian Highway and ascend the hill until you reach the ridgeline. This will take 10 to 15 minutes more or less. You can continue along the ridgeline until you are directly above Sea Life Park. On the day I hiked this trail, I found a comfortable rock, took out my banana, apple, water jug and binoculars and watched the sea lion and killer whale shows from 1,000 feet above. Fun stuff. Just like all the other hikes I've written about, the view from atop the Makapu'u cliffs aspect, well, you know what I mean. Laying before you are Rabbit Island, Makapu'u Beach, and in the distance is Mokapu, home of the Kaneohe Marine Base. Back to the hike. Although I ventured just a quarter mile or so past Sea Life Park, I've read that it's possible to continue along the ridgeline to the Tom Tom Trail. I wish I knew the background for the name, which winds its way down the steep Pali to Waiokiola Street in Waimanalo. Stuart Ball lists Tom Tom as a closed hike, which means it must cross private property. Number 14. Sun Valley, Idaho. Idaho's Sun Valley, north of Twin Falls, is considered one of the best paragliding spots in the world. Let alone in the US in winter, the Sun Valley Resort is full of snow bunnies, while paragliding and hang gliding is more enjoyable in warmer temperatures. The updrafts from the desert and mountains create good conditions for taking hours-long flights, although beginners on a tandem flight may want to opt for something shorter. The mountain views are the main attraction here. Number 15. Hatcher Pass, Alaska. With a large number of paragliding schools throughout the state, Alaska is an ideal place to learn the adventure sport. One of the best places to paraglide in the enormous state is Hatcher Pass, northeast of Wasilla and a 90-minute drive from Anchorage. The Hatcher Pass is in the Talkeetna Mountains, between the towns of Willow and Palmer. As well as the beautiful mountain and forest scenery, look out for wildflowers below and eagles soaring in the sky. The warm season here is short since the mountains get some of the earliest snow in Alaska.
Hacha Pass, 3,886 feet or 1,148 meters, is a mountain pass through the southwest part of the Talkeetna Mountains, Alaska. It is named after Robert Hacha, a prospector and miner. The nearest cities are Palmer and Wasilla, approximately 12 miles 19 kilometers to the south, and Willow, approximately 26 miles 42 kilometers to the west. The communities are at an elevation of approximately 250 feet 76 meters in the Mat-Su Valley. The Fishhook Road rises to 3,886 feet, 1,184 meters, to cross Hacha Pass at the head of Fishhook and Willow Creeks in the southwestern corner of the Talkeetna Mountains. The area has been heavily glaciated. Steep walled cirques, jagged arits, and hanging valleys above U-shaped valleys characterize the terrain. Trees grow only in the lowest valley bottoms. Brush, often dense, grows on lower mountain slopes, yielding to open tundra as elevation increase. Glaciers occupy the headwaters of major drainages. Some nearby peaks are over 6,000 feet, 1,800 meters tall. The Willow Creek mining district lies at the southwestern edge of a great mass of granitic intrusions that form much of the Talkeetna Mountains. The area is within the Rangethlea composite terrain. At Hacha Pass, a pervasively altered Zone 74 million years old quartz diorite to tonalite pluton underlies the headwaters of Willow Creek and Fishhook Creek. Most of the gold deposits occur in these rocks. A 67 quartz monzonite pluton lies west and north of the older quartz diorite. A Cretaceous quartz diorite pluton lies to the east. A high-angle east-west fault passing through Hacha Pass separates the plutonic rocks on the north side of the fault from the Hacha Pass schist south of the fault. The Hacha Pass schist consists mainly of metamorphosed and deformed sedimentary rocks, of late Cretaceous to Paleocene age. The schist may represent subducted Valdez group that was exhumed in the Forard region from beneath the peninsular terrain. Both deformed and undeformed small felsic dikes occur in the schist. Several bodies of serpentinite are contained within the schist. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and press the notification button.